My name is Roy Kennedy. I'm working here at Warwickshire College as part of this diagnostic project. The aim of this project is to control leaf spots of brassicas and also downy mildew on onions. We're going to do this by developing diagnostics for these pathogens that can be applied in a field setting that can better detect when these pathogens occur in the absence of symptoms. That will enable the producers to apply control measures more effectively and more efficiently. The major leaf spots of brassicas that we're developing diagnostics for are Mycosphaerella brassicilla, which is commonly called ring spot on vegetable brassicas. We're also working on Albugo candida, which is commonly called white blister. We're also working on leaf diseases of onions, which is Peronospora destructor, which is commonly called downy mildew on onions. A successful outcome would be to enable the growers to apply control measures more effectively and precisely so that no disease occurs in the crop, so they can use fewer sprays and they can also have a larger amount of production that's untainted and saleable.
Our biggest problem in this area undoubtedly is ring spot. It's a foliar disease. If we didn't treat for it, we'd end up throwing away about 40% of the crops that we grow. So we find it pretty easy really. We're pretty used to doing it. We have 7 weather stations and 4 spore traps which we go to once a week. And it's about a morning's work for us to go around, collect the vials out of those spore traps, test them through lateral flow devices, and then provide a disease forecast to the growers. So when we send the samples off to Pershore, we typically get an answer back within 48 hours. So since we've been running the Brassica tests since 2008, we've done a number of different trials looking at how effective that information is that we give out to the growers. And typically we can save 1 or 2 fungicide sprays a year on most of the crops. So in terms of disease forecasting, which we've been specifically involved in, I think reducing fungicide use is obviously a key target. We don't want to put anything more on the crops than we have to, but also achieving better quality. So selling crop without spots on the leaves is our ultimate aim really. So we can improve yield and reduce fungicide use, then that's what we're all about really. It's been exceptionally useful to us as a business. The forecast that we produce now goes out to 180 growers and advisors in this area, so I think it's taken pretty seriously, and it gives the guys a great guide as when or if and when they should be spraying fungicides particularly for ring spot control.
In a bad year, downy mildew can cause a yield loss of up to 50% in any individual crop if a severe infection occurs. Taking the industry as a whole, if we had a severe downy mildew outbreak in any one year, the whole industry could lose up to 25% of yield. Running the spore traps is relatively easy, however it does require having sufficient resources to enable you to do it on a regular basis. The more often the traps are emptied and the more regularly they're emptied, then the more value there is to the grower in the information supplied, because we're getting presented with more information about spore presence in the fields. Overall, the service worked very smoothly and efficiently, and I think in another season, now we've had experience of the system, we'd be able to work very well with Roy and his team. There will always be a place for new technologies such as spore trapping in the control of downy mildew, but only as part of a more holistic approach. In an ideal world, this technology needs to become more real time. For instance, could we use drone technology to help capture spores? This would allow larger geographic areas to be covered and would also allow the samples received to be used across different sectors of the industry, i.e. for collecting potato blight spores.
Yes, downy mildew can be a really devastating disease for us. We could lose this whole field over a couple of days. It can be that bad if we can't control the disease. So economically that's a large amount of money. So a hectare of salad onions can be worth £30,000. Yes, the spore traps themselves are very simple to run, so changing over the wells for each week just takes a couple of minutes actually. That's not a problem at all. Then obviously we've got to post them off back to, at the moment we're having to post them back to the lab for Roy to analyse both through the lateral flow device and visually through the microscope as well, so that gives us sort of confirmation of what we're actually finding. In the future we'd like to see a quicker turnaround really of 1 or 2 days. We'll actually do the sample ourselves, and that's what we're working towards. Yes, once we sort of sample it ourselves on the day, we post them off, and then we get the result back within sort of 3 or 4 days, so really the same week, which is, say, I think for this first year, which is fine. That gives an idea of monitoring and gives us some feedback of what we're seeing in the field. But say for the future, we need a quicker response to be able to sort of react with our means of control really. I think it's got to be the way to go, I think, because the pressure's on from our customers to reduce pesticide use as far as we can, and obviously we would like to do the same. It's better for the environment, cheaper for us. There's a whole range of benefits there, but being able to do it in a controlled way and knowing that we can still going to maintain good quality, good disease control with the product.